Lebanon, meanwhile, is grappling with its worst economic crisis in modern history. It's pushed tens of thousands of people into poverty and triggered the largest anti-government protests in more than a decade. High inflation and unemployment, shortages of food and medicine are just some of the problems affecting millions. And as Redmond Shannon reports, there's no solution in sight.
Lebanon has seen plenty of hardship over the years, from its own civil war to the more recent influx of refugees from Syria. Now, the country is on its knees again. At least one man appeared to have had enough, protesters blaming his suicide on desperation, poverty and hunger. The economic and political crisis ramped up last fall, with protests triggered by proposed new taxes. And then came COVID-19, suddenly tipping the economy over the edge.
So the people that used to be, let's say, middle class, now they don't exist anymore. Middle class has disappeared because everyone needs help.
Lebanon imports almost everything, but the value of its currency has effectively dropped to 1/6 of its official value. Banks are limiting withdrawals. Stores have nothing to sell. Hospitals are rationing treatments.
Over 40–50% of people unable to access food, water, drinkable water.
We are in debt just to buy bread, eggs and cheese, says this woman. With money almost worthless, some people are bartering for food on Facebook groups. Protesters blame incompetence and corruption, demanding a total overhaul to Lebanon's unique form of government, a system that means it is always being torn between regional and global powers, namely Iran, Saudi Arabia and the West.
There is no easy solution to this that does not require turning a blind eye to bolstering elements of Lebanese society that have been part of the problem. There is no international will at all from any side in order to allow the people to manifest their will to overhaul that system.
A bailout from the International Monetary Fund has been stalled too, with disagreements over the scale of the funds needed and the terms of the loan. And new heavy sanctions imposed on neighbouring Syria by the US could stifle a source of funds for Lebanon, albeit Iranian money funneled to one of Lebanon's main powers, the political and militant group Hezbollah.
And that's why the Caesar Act is so crippling for Lebanon, not because it would provide a solution, but because if you can implement damage limitation, the Caesar Act prevents you even from doing that.
A perfect storm of history, politics and a pandemic that's leaving Lebanon bereft of solutions. Redmond Shannon, Double News, London.